showing off the threads. I like it.
Trying to get this as flat of a. But maybe I can move. Let's see. I don't know if that's good or not, but yeah. So, man, I don't know what happened. The muse, the inspiration came over me, and I designed this great shirt. And, man, I think it came out really well.
All right, easy. Well, we'll let the audience decide. If you like the shirt, I'll tell you the real story. If you don't like the shirt, yeah, Michael, definitely. So, but we talked a lot about Acts 2:42 and word, fellowship, worship, prayer. And, got the little side Take Two logo on there. And on the back, you have the whole verse, Acts 2:42. Yeah. So I think it's a great shirt that captures, church.
So this was your brainchild or Leanne's?
Mine.
Okay.
I saw a shirt that kind of looked like that. Yeah. And it said something like, I really liked the shirt. It said like contexts. I don't know. It said something that resonated with me, and I was like, oh. And then it was like, we were doing the podcast.
Right.
Or something. I don't know when I thought about this, but I was like, oh, it like, we could put
and
four
so
words on
did you
there.
Put this in Canva? And
I put it in Canva, yeah.
You did it?
Yeah.
Not Leanne. Okay, I'm impressed.
Yeah. I put this in Canva, yeah.
I'm impressed. And
so, yeah,
this is actually Zach's design. So.
It took me not a long time, but I was scrolling through. I was trying to find a font that was like, like distressed. Yeah. But I went through a lot. Canva has a lot of fonts.
Yeah.
I went through probably like 15 or 20 distressed fonts. Like they have like a whole category of distressed fonts.
Yeah.
Landed on that, so there we go.
So this is in the merch store.
In the merch store.
So if you're a member or an attender of CBC, this is going to be a required shirt for you. You got to go out and buy it. But if you're a regular listener, you should wear it. And this is what we believe the church at its core should be about. So
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited to wear this around, see if it catches on a little bit. But I like it, updating the merch store. So yeah, also people have good ideas. I think we're always open to throwing something in the.
Yeah, my interview with Brian Coles aired, and we had an idea for merch there. Because he lost one of his legs. Instead of take two, take one. So.
Oh man, yeah. I recently listened to those because I guess last week the second one dropped.
The second one dropped last week.
And so I've just listened to the last couple of weeks. Man, it was
Yeah.
Man, it was really cool hearing his testimony.
Yeah.
And his attitude and all of these things through it. What a crazy thing. But he was saying like on there everyone in his county or city won't be making this won't happen. It's like word spreads and
right. It was like wow, because they're probably they're a well-known farming family in that area, so everyone would have known. Did you hear what happened to Brian? You hear what happened to Brian? And they're like, okay, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah. And it's amazing how God has used this. I always love it's funny, I don't know Brian, but I kind of feel like I do after listen to a couple and then the voice I always recognize now.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
It's great. You guys grew up together. I mean,
yes.
Paint a picture. You guys were like.
I first met Brian. He was dressed up like a toy soldier with a top hat.
Okay.
Because the church, it was not my church at that time, but it became my church in the 7th grade. They would do what they called his kids, and they would drive a bus to both Bald Knob and Augusta schools because the church is like in between those two schools. And they would grab mainly kids from their church. Okay, yeah. But it was an evangelistic thing too. Yeah. And I got permission to go, so I started going, and we would do these plays. It was real. I mean, there was a time when it was really well done. Jill's mom kind of spearheaded that, and we would put on a play and stuff. And so he was one of the older guys in there when I was one of the younger guys. Okay, that's what
I was wondering.
He's about 5 years older than me.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, cool. That is really neat. Man, those are the days. I remember going to church, and it was just very evangelistic. Bus ministry, huge. We would have so many. I don't think does not age well when you call people bus kids. Like that doesn't we picked up the bus kids. Not good in today's culture. But man, we had a lot of people involved in Awana that you could. And when I worked in college, worked in this camp in Hawaii, and we'd be like, all right, 2 hours until VBS starts. Let's drive around. Be like, hey kid, you want to go to VBS? And it was a huge evangelistic outreach, and it was okay. It wasn't creepy or weird. It was like we would talk to parent. I'd be like, great, go. And you could go. knock on doors. I don't know. We would canvas so much, and like we would actually have a lot of people at VBSs.
And I think there was like a cultural familiarity with VBS that was
widespread. You knew the
widespread.
church in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, VBS. Yeah.
Oh, you
I
go
know
to
what
that church?
is.
Oh yeah, and this church does it the next week, and it was like all the kids went to things.
Yeah.
It was. I was talking about this with Leanne, like just like we like had the like skits, like you had this big production, like we'd have like these skits that were like maybe it was just funny as a kid or as a teenager you were involved in them, and it was like in the youth group, like you were really involved on the girls or the boys or whatever, and we like to cheer. I don't know. It was like it was kind of almost like camp, but not really camp.
Did you have any evangelistic chess type stuff that you were doing?
With that's where the knife thrower guy was at though. That I've referenced before.
Or was that the same guy?
Oh, with the whip,
the chains.
Yeah, all these
things.
He
didn't have chains.
No chains. There's a knife thrower, whip guy. That was one year, but it was like this huge deal. And we did ours was like I don't know if it was like 9 to 12. It was like a day thing, morning thing maybe, but it was a big deal. And I get nostalgic for that, sometimes. It was really fun being involved in these things, and like all the teachers would like really dress up their classrooms. I don't know, it was like a thing, but I think it was like maybe more of a cultural. It was a different time, simpler time.
Yeah, well, we're doing Bible camp VBS at our church this week as we're recording.
It's great, and honestly, the sanctuary looks great. Like it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. I've seen that pendulum go where it's like everything is decorated, and it's kind of like, wow. Okay, are we about the decorations?
Yeah. Finding that balance.
The happy medium, that's good.
It's great. It's
always
always
a lot of work. Someone's got to put that up and then take it down.
I know it is a lot of work. Love Jack White just talking about great all the puns.
Yeah.
And he's just so he just does amazing job. I was hoping you would like dress up like Abraham and do this like Jack White-esque, like give all these,
But what does Abraham look like? How do you dress up like Abraham?
That's true. It would be hard to dress up like a patriarch and be able to like meaningfully tell the difference, like for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm clearly Isaac and not.
How could you ever think this is Abraham? This is Isaac. See the wood on my back.
Yeah, I guess you have to like do a specific story to really get the difference, like really nail it down. But yeah, hope our Pastor Joel started a new sermon series on Abraham, and Michael had this great idea to like answer some of these off the beaten path, not off the beaten path, but you hear about these things, but do you know about these things?
Right. Yeah, and I thought we could do just like we did on finances. We covered a lot of topics that weren't necessarily what he covered, but they were on finances as he was covering them. And so,
well, we've been plagued with some technology issues. So you may have noticed on some of our ones that the audio goes bad, not bad, but a little bit not as good. And then it comes back. Well, sometimes we look over and what we use to record our audio falls out. So that just happened. So we were in the middle of talking about a lot of VBS and Abraham, and I'll splice this together. But we don't know exactly where it went bad, or so maybe there's enough of the good audio that we just go right in. But
love it.
Our pastor is starting a series on Abraham, and by the time this airs, he'll probably be 2 or 3 into it. But we thought we might do like we did with finances, just cover some things that he probably won't cover, or maybe we'll cover them from a different vantage point. But really, we wanted to ask, who is Abraham? Where did he come from? Where did he go? It's kind of like Cotton Eye Joe.
There you go. I'm pumped for this because I think it just helps give that context that everyone's heard of Abraham, but you probably haven't thought through all of these things totally. So let's jump into it, take it to the next level. From the hearts of the Low Country in South Carolina,
it's the Take 2 podcast, where we take theology to the next level. Father Abraham had many children.
Man,
we can't say just sons now.
Make it inclusive. That's good, because then you have to say Father Abraham had many sons and daughters. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as good.
But if you're a student of the word, you'll know he came from Ur. And we know which Ur of the Chaldeans.
Boom, yeah, not just any Ur.
Yeah, not just any Ur.
That's so funny. It's like you don't run across a lot of two-letter places that often. You know, it just like stands out.
Yeah. Well, there's also I.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you know, they lost 36 people, and they're like, God's turned from us. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about? Like after they fight.
Joshua.
Yeah, after they fight Jericho.
Yeah.
And that guy.
I feel like I always say AI just because it's easy. It's easy. It's like just so people don't lose the. I think I is probably the right way to say it.
I don't know.
I always think of Allen Iverson too. So I say AI.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Who knows? But he came from Ur, and I think I remember hearing about this when I was younger. That there are two proposed locations where this Ur could have been. There is a southern Ur, which would be by modern day. I'll let you say this: the city in Iraq. Since I had to read all those names and
payback, I cannot. Nasiriyah.
Nasiriyah.
I like that.
Yeah, looks right. By the Euphrates, where ancient Sumer would be, where the Samaritans would come from, and that seems to make the most sense. There is a northern city called Urfa. And it's near modern-day border of Syria and Turkey, which would be more northern and actually closer to Haran, where they stop.
Oh yeah.
So some scholars make some plays for that because it doesn't necessarily make sense if you're going this direction that you would go so far north and then come over.
Oh right, yeah. Like why would I gotcha.
So, but if you're just doing that, maybe it makes more sense on the path.
And Haran was as far as his father got.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Terah died at Haran.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you remember doing the walk through? Were you there?
I was at Charles Bible Church, but I didn't go to that.
Oh, you just like I'm too good for this.
Yeah, I showed up and I was like, I'm too good for this, and walked out. I made a big deal about it. No,
but there was a place, Terah died. You kind of, that's where Terah died. At Haran.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But there is, we'll say this: in Southern Ur fits a lot of the motifs of, fits the biblical mention of the Chaldeans. It's a major urban city of worship of Nana, the moon god. But it is anachronistic because the Chaldeans, even at the time of when Moses would have been writing this down, weren't there yet.
Gotcha.
So some people are like, why did Moses call this Ur the Chaldeans? And then there's speculation. Well, some people say, just because our history books and, the book of Genesis is a history book, and you should look at it as a primary source document. And so you should say, the Chaldeans were there. Maybe this book didn't know about them, but this is evidence that they were there. You're just discounting it because it's the Bible. But then other people are like, maybe an editor came in later and added that so that you would distinguish because they knew there were two different cities with Ur or Urfa that were close. Regardless, we know that he came from Ur, and probably the southern Ur is the
That's great. So we're thinking
bet.
Iraq is what you should be thinking most likely. I like that.
Yeah, but the southern portion of today's Iraq, but where the Sumerian people would have been from. So it wouldn't be like if you're picturing present day Iraqis, it's probably not the right race.
Just only geographically, but not peoples. That's good distinction. We'll maybe talk a little bit down the road more about this people distinction because it is hard. You're trying to contextualize it modern day, but you don't want to get the wrong idea and run with that too far.
So Genesis 11:31 says Terah took Abraham his son to go to the land of Canaan, but when they came to Haran, they settled there. So they stop off there a little bit. Joshua 24:2 also says Terah lived beyond the river and they served other gods there. So just some context of what's going on.
So there was this big turning point. He was like steeped in one sort of religious culture. What I liked about Pastor's notes, and they were like the color notes last Sunday. It's like we spent the money.
I guess he wanted that mapped, or maybe he did it and Didn't know. I was like, oh, I guess we're getting color. Yeah.
And it had kind of his route on there. And I'm always fascinated by this stuff because I am not great at geography.
Mm-hmm.
It always helps me, to see this. And then you always, and I know you maybe can't nail down stuff like perfectly, but you always do wonder, like, why did they take this route or go this way or, all of these things. But I like that we're going to map out Abraham's journey, try to contextualize that a little bit.
Yeah, so they're going to start down in southern Iraq near the Euphrates River Valley, and that's past Babylon. So it's lower, it's more southern than Babylon.
Okay.
And then maybe we could get that map.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get that and put it up here.
Boom.
For people to see.
And it's almost like they're going up the river, like they're kind of tracking what the river kind of.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, like let's just, because the river is life in the desert, so you're going to stay close to the river and then cut over. So and you never know, there may have been cultural or political reasons to stay close to the people.
Yeah.
Like maybe like we know these people are bandits.
That's a good point.
Are living here, so we're going to kind of stay close to our country and then cut over. Maybe God just led them that way.
Yeah. It's hard. It's at some point speculation. You can't put too much into it, but it's at least plausible. Like that seems like a good way to go. So Iraq working up this river, and then they
basically going to cross over into present day Syria, probably Assyria back then, and then almost as north as present day Turkey is. So you're thinking like if you can picture this map, they're going up to kind of close to present day Turkey. And then they're going to come back down maybe, to just slightly east of like Damascus, Lebanon, and then down into what they would call Canaan at that time.
That's great. So if you're putting miles on this, to Haran, 1,000 miles. So it ain't nothing. Ain't nothing to sneeze at. There, It's like on a map. You're just like, oh, they went here to here, then here to here. Like actually, this was quite the journey. And then another 400 miles, Haran to Hebron.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, and so modern day countries: Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Lebanon, and then down into Israel, aka Palestine. Thank you, chat, for throwing Palestine in there.
Yeah.
And so in the ancient times, that would be Sumer, or where we get the Sumerians, not the Sumerians.
Oh yeah.
Not the Good Samaritan. Not those.
Oh, gotcha. That's a good distinction. Yeah, not the same.
Yeah. And then Akkad.
This is where we get Akkadians, like Akkadian language and some of this ancient stuff.
Mari, I don't know. Aram, and then finally into Canaan.
Great. And, you look at this, you alluded to some, like there might have been bandits or raiders, but you think about contextualizing it again, they're going to run into wild animals. And I don't know if you've ever looked this up too, you probably know this, but, back in ancient time, the animal landscape a little bit different in the Middle East too. I don't know if you've looked at this before, but it's kind of interesting.
I haven't.
With things like lions and these.
Because they were all over.
You read even in David's killing lions and where he's at.
Solomon says, the lazy person says, "Oh, there's a lion in the street," and I'm like, I guess you would have to be lazy because there are no lions around here for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it is crazy. And you look and there's. The lion population has declined a lot, at least in like Jerusalem and things like with all the you don't see as many lions there. But I was looking at this, I was like, oh, I wonder how many lions. But I was looking at this one time, and there, I guess less people and all of these things running around. I'm glad that chat's got snakes. Snakes
as a danger, maybe as a companion. You never know.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Tribal skirmishes. Kind of mentioned that. They're coming through places that could be hostile.
And Abraham does get into some skirmishes from time to time.
He does. And he seems a little skittish about skirmishes.
He had his fair share, so he probably knows what's up. Walking through some desert areas, water could be scarce, so maybe got to cling to the river for that kind of stuff. And then you just mentioned all these different cultures, there's got to be these language barriers, culture barriers.
Yeah, it's hard, for us in our times, it's especially Americans, where the United States is so big and almost everyone speaks English here. There's not a huge compelling need to learn a second language, and that's evident that most of us don't learn a second language. But you wonder how many languages did Abram know? Was he a metropolitan guy who knew how to speak?
That's a good point. Businessman, maybe he how to figure some of that out. That's a good point that we probably don't think about enough. And then everyone's got their little God they worship or whatever, right? So you're setting up these altars here and there. It might be like you're making a statement.
Yeah, that I think when you do that, because he's going through land that's not even his, he's like, I'm going to build an altar to a different God right here that you maybe not recognize. So
Nana can take this. And
That's right.
Yeah, I like it.
So we see Abraham is called. Could you read Genesis 12, 1 through 3 for us?
Great. Yeah, let me.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up. Oh, I'm not trying to call you out. I thought maybe you had.
Michael brought his Bible, everyone, and I didn't.
No, I can get to it. I'll read it. See, what you could be doing is your notes had the scripture pre-printed, so that's a bonus where my notes didn't have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me get there to it. It says, Now the Lord said to Abram, Go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and so you shall be a blessing, and I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. So really, first little hint of the Abrahamic covenant, not a hint, the first statement of it, and it will get stated again in 15 and 18 and maybe in 21. I think it goes every 3 chapters like that, but I know 15 and 18 for sure. So
he's a great guy. He was just doing so good. He's like, Abraham, I like what you're doing here. It is pretty amazing that we read just a little bit earlier in Joshua 24:2 that his families weren't seeking out Yahweh.
Yeah.
You know, they were worshiping idols. It was, so I love that where you can't point to as what Scripture tells us. He's doing all these great things, and so I'm picking you.
And I wonder if it was the angel of the Lord that appeared to him.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Just a still small voice inside his?
I know.
Nudge?
Yeah, that would be.
I think it had to be more than that.
You would think to abandon everything. You would think.
Yeah.
It would be this.
We're not told explicitly. We're told in Hebrews that he had faith in something that God told him. We don't know, to do this, and he obeyed.
Yeah, and I pulled up Hebrews 11:8. It was by faith that Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave home and go to another land that God would give him as his inheritance. He went without knowing where he was going. Yeah. So that is faith right there.
Right. So maybe that explains why they went so far north. They're just,
because he's like, I don't know, we're just following. We'll see where God, calls us.
Yeah. One point that I did want to bring out that I thought was very interesting that Joel mentioned was Abraham an evangelist?
Yeah, the verbiage. That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. We read Genesis 12:8. I'll read that one. It says, Then he, Abram, proceeded from there to the mountains on the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, and Bethel on the west and Ai. Well, there we go. On the east, and there he built an altar to the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. So you're just reading this in English, and you're probably thinking he's just praying. He's, maybe asking for help or something.
Yeah, just call on the name of the Lord.
You just call on the name of the Lord. But that verb, while it can have that meaning, it can also mean, and probably better translation would be proclaim the name of the Lord.
I've never really paid a lot of attention to that, but I was glad that this was in our notes. And you've got this. What corroborates is this Genesis 4 passage you have. Yeah,
Genesis 4:26 says, then men began to call upon the name of the Lord, and I've always is that the first time they ever prayed?
Yeah, right. You might just think that, and you're like, it's probably more significant.
Right. They're probably publicly worshiping or proclaiming the name of the Lord. Scholars like Bruce Waltke, Walter Kaiser, they say that this is more of a public proclamation than a private prayer.
Dude, Bruce Waltke, he's my guy. He's the guy for Psalms and Proverbs. And man, I wasn't him. He knows his Hebrew very, very well. And this is the kind of stuff there needs to be like a revamped translation that is like the NASB or the ESV, but like even our translations, they want to hold on to tradition so much because it's so ingrained in the culture.
It's a business. They got to make money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the joy of the Lord is my. Yeah. Right. We talked about that. we gotta get better.
It's so interesting because it's like that does change. Like this is
Jesus.
This is pretty big.
Joseph and Mary going to an inn.
Yeah.
Upper room.
It's like honestly, it would make sermons a lot shorter. So you don't have to.
You wouldn't have to explain as much.
Yeah, it's so funny because like half of like if you were listening to like a KJV preacher and you've got like and if you're like half the sermon's gone already because you're trying to explain something that's right here in my text. It's great.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's
carry
right.
on.
All right, so if you can just envision this guy from a foreign country coming into your country.
Yeah.
And especially if you are beholden to, Baal or some of these other gods that you worship. And remember, you can go back and listen to our podcast on the Nephilim and the gods and the demons that we think that were there. How it was very geographical. Like this is the God of this area. And now Abraham is planting along the way these altars to Yahweh, and he's preaching Yahweh's name, and he's a foreigner.
Yeah. That seems like an evangelist.
Deal. Yeah.
Yeah, proclaiming that is a big deal. And like he's like, I don't know where I'm going. But God, the God Yahweh is that's like in your face, telling everyone, especially if you interpret this as proclaiming the name of the Lord more than I'm just talking to God. It's like, man, I'm proclaiming that brings a lot more color to the story.
All right, so the next thing, these were just a number of questions that I personally had that I was like wanted to look up and get answers to, because I always have heard perhaps Terah failed in stopping at Haran. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know too. Whenever I hear teaching on this, I hear that a lot, and then I look at the text, and I think that very well may have happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Is there some way the text is like?
How old was he when he died? Like maybe he's like, I gotta stop here because I can't go.
We just did 1,000 miles. Like it's not like he was like I did 20 miles and I'm out. Like there was some obedience there. But it does. What's the way it's written? Is it written in a negative way? Is that why people say it, or is there like this connotation? Because I feel like people say that a lot.
Yeah. Let me read Genesis 11:31. It says, Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran. So it would be his brother, right? His grandson, and wait a minute, I'm getting confused here. Well, let me just finish reading. And Sarai, or Sarah, his daughter-in-law, his son, Abram's wife, and they went out together from Ur of the Chaldeans in order to enter the land of Canaan, and they went as far as Haran and settled there.
Oh, they went for Canaan, made it to Haran. So that makes sense. They knew the goal, and they didn't make it to the goal. So that does make sense. Why didn't we make it?
The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. I mean, he's lived a long life.
That's true. Because really, Abraham, I mean, is it Genesis 12? Is Abraham like 75? What are we talking like?
Terah lived 70 years and became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And then Lot is the son of Haran. So Lot is Abraham's nephew, Terah's grandson, and they're going to name the city where they stop after Terah's father or Abraham's grandfather, Haran.
This note is really good here. Haran was a key worship center for the moon god Sin or Sign. Terah may have returned. I could see that being like, hey, I know Nana.
Yeah.
It's like it's moon god worship. It's like, not that you can say that for sure, but you can see maybe there were distractions of sorts.
Yeah. All right. And this is another question, was bringing Lot a mistake?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like a lot of great things happened.
Hebrews 11 does list Lot in the faith chapter.
Yeah.
But there are complications.
Was Lot's wife in the faith chapter too?
Lot's wife?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
No.
Yikes.
No, I think that's where we get most of that salt that we get, the red colored salt today. So.
You know what? You know how like on the salt shaker it's got like that umbrella person?
Yeah, Morton's.
Why don't we have turning back Salt's wife? That's $1 million idea. We should make Lot's wife's salt like a brand.
Like the brand name.
Yeah, like turn back. I don't know what the word would be, but something.
Yeah. You know the story behind Morton's salt.
What's the story behind it?
Well, the salt before then, however it was processed, it would clump really bad when it was high humidity.
Okay.
And you see her holding her umbrella in the rain, and the salt's still pouring. So that they formulated it in a way. I don't know if they like coated in silica or like just tiny trace amounts of silica, something, so that it flows even while it's raining and humid out there. Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think of. There's something there with like puns on Sodom and Gomorrah. There's something about this. I don't know what it is, but
future banter.
Yeah. There we go. But you're right. It wasn't like, Lot appeared, everything's great. It was like bad things happened a lot.
Well, 12:1 specifically says, "Go from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house."
Yeah.
So, but is that just like, well, that just means leave all the people that you know and leave. You can take some people with you because obviously he had servants and stuff that his employees would be another way of saying that in the days. But we see, Lot's herdsmen in 13 are going to fight with Abraham's herdsmen. So they're going to like, okay, you go over there, I'll go over there. Obviously the Sodom and Gomorrah disaster with Lot.
And Lot was like, was Lot the one that was taken by these, like Abraham had to go like rescue him too. So on top of that, he's like, come on, Lot, we're getting, I was like, come on, help me out, man.
But that's what introduces us to Melchizedek, because Abraham takes his portion and gives it to Melchizedek, the king of Salem. So maybe, it's all good.
Lot, and the name, Lot. It's bland,
Yeah.
Like, unlike the salt.
Unlike
I don't know, there's more stuff there. I keep coming back to that anyway.
That's good. All right, we're just answering some random questions, like who is Abraham? So here's another random question: the land of Canaan. What did Abraham find there? And so in our current political culture, everyone's wanting to call it Palestine.
Yeah.
And I have no dislike for the people of Palestine. They're actually in a hard plight because
it's tough.
None of the Arab countries around them will take any of the Palestinians. You go look at the border wall between Egypt and Palestine. That's a border, Saudi Arabia. But so what I'm about to say, this is not at them specifically, but Palestine is named for the Philistines.
Yeah, which is
the arch enemy of the Israelites, right? And the Philistines are probably whiteys of some sort because they came by boat. They're seafarers. So where did they come from? Greece or somewhere? We don't know exactly.
Yeah, right. However,
so that name Palestine really has no lineage to the Palestinian people that are there today. What happened was
insane.
Yeah, after 70 AD, when Rome was like, we're just done with the Jews. We're destroying them. We're wiping off the map, and I'm going to name this place Palestine, which was like the transliteration of the Philistine. So, Anyways.
It was not a compliment. I was trying to look at who. Hadrian. That was it. Hadrian was like, I'm calling this place Palestine because Jews aren't going to like this, and it is a complicated thing. I was looking this up too.
Do I have the timing wrong? Is it? When did that?
I just looked at this. The Romans officially renamed the region Palestine in 135 AD after the Bar Kokhba revolt, this Jewish uprising.
It's a little later than what I said.
Emperor Hadrian intentionally chose this name to erase Jewish identity from the land, to humiliate the Jews. So it was very on purpose. And you're right, it's so complicated. I was reading the stat. I want to pull this up. This is not the podcast, but in 1940, 10% of Palestinian population Christian. Like it's the highest concentration of Christians in the Middle East is Palestine.
Yeah.
Makes the whole situation very complicated.
Right. And
Sorry.
I've been told that there are Palestinian Christians who love the Jewish people.
Yeah.
And believe me, we're not saying that the current day citizens of Israel are the best people.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're bad either. I'm just
it's like you have to
caveat
everything.
We're not weighing in on that. Okay, we know that there are tensions between the current some of the current Jewish people there, the Israelites, and the Palestinians. But there are Palestinian Christians who would say Jesus is a Jew. I follow Jesus. He is Mashiach, the Messiah.
Yeah.
And we look forward to a day when he's going to come back and he's going to set the world right and he's going to land right over here in Jerusalem. And yet we have tension between us. We're not fully reconciled.
Yeah, so. It is so insane, and this insanity did not start today. It was like way back.
It goes.
Abram's walking in, and it's not just like, oh, here's a bunch of acreage for free.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. As is every new start.
Yeah.
Almost every new start. Maybe the original walkers over the Alaskan land bridge found a whole bunch of land that no one was at. But
because Genesis does record in chapter 12, at that time the Canaanites were in the land, so we know from Scripture, right there. Flash forward Genesis 15. 400 years down the road or whenever all of this will come to fruition, is because the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete.
Yeah, and it's like God's going to prove to them how bad you are. I'm going to let you prove to you how bad you are, because I'm going to wipe you out, but I'm going to give you chances to repent, and you're not going to. I think I've hinted at this before, but I listened to this historian, I think it was Peter Kreeft, Kreft. He wrote a book about, is God a moral monster? And he goes through the culture of the Canaanites and some of the laws that they had on the books.
Man.
And the law, I'll just say, you could not, there was a law that you could not mate with an ox.
Yowza.
Because you don't want the ox to gore people because they become habituated to mating with you. But you could mate with other animals, okay?
Oh, man,
so, I'm just saying, that paired up with all the child sacrifice, it was not a safe place for people.
Man.
Young girls being sold into, basically sex trafficking, So just a culture that is almost as bad as you can imagine it, for sexual debauchery, child sacrifice, pagan idol worship and stuff.
Yeah, it's not like they were like cleaning litter from the side of the road. It's like we're just helping everything, because I think sometimes you're like, how could this happen? And it's like, well, I think I love that detail is in there, saying, hey, iniquity's not yet complete. Like, hey, they're doing their own thing. Like, I'm giving them over to what they want. They're bringing judgment on themselves.
Yep. So he comes into this land. There's Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, and
wouldn't it be nice if it was like Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, like there's not an I, like just thrown in there to
a ston or something.
Something just random.
Yeah. All right. So these altars that we kind of already talked about this. He's kind of like making territory for Yahweh in this foreign land, and we've got one at Shechem, one at Bethel, one at Hebron, one at Beersheba. Genesis 12, 13, and 21 kind of documents this for us. And they weren't just those places of worship; they were also, Yahweh's coming to reign here. If you think of the council and the different people that are appointed, it kind of plays into that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I like that. Each altar followed a divine encounter, this covenant moment. It's these significant events, and Abraham's like, man, I just gotta set this place up.
Yeah. All right, last question I had was researching the ethnicity of Abraham. We've already kind of mentioned this a little bit, talked about it. He's not Arab. So
because I think this is confusing because, Abraham's Judaism, Christian Islam, Arabs will be like, hey, I look to Abraham or I look to Ishmael.
Yeah.
But, so you see that it's connected,
right.
But he was not Arab. I think this is confusing.
He wasn't from the Arabian Peninsula have the, we're just talking about, just different physical characteristics.
Yeah.
From what I understand from Sumar as a Semite, descendant of Shem, he would have had, more of what we might consider Iran. He'd look more like someone from Iran. The lighter skin, the kind of the Persian look, the Medes and the Persians, and not more like what we would consider like present day Iraqi or Saudi Arabian type of look, just for ethnicity.
That's really good. Linguistically and ethnically, East Semitic, closer to this Akkadian Sumerian culture, which is, I think, hard to identify. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I think when you put it in that the terms you just did, Arab versus like Iraqi or something like, or like from Iran, like it kind of like paints at least some picture.
Not British.
Not right.
Not British. Not Irish.
Yeah.
Not Scandinavian. But also not Northern Africa or Arab.
Right.
Distinct culture.
Gives at least a little bit to think about, because it's so confusing in today's world, geography and thinking, tracing back to that. So I think that's really helpful.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is our first podcast on Abraham. Hopefully some questions, and we're just kind of doing a biography of him, and we'll get into some more theologically dense things, but hopefully this answered some questions, help you think about who he really was, and kind of put him in history. And Abraham lived, I guess we should have answered this 500 years ago.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago. So it was actually around 2000 BC.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I think, it's hard to remember all the dates, but I like how a lot of these major Bible characters you can put at these these
I think
500-year marks.
Actually closer to 19, but you can.
But you
can say 2,000 years before Christ ish.
Yeah.
And then Moses is going to be around 15, but it's actually like closer to 1450, 1430 before Christ.
Good. No, I like it. That is really helpful because, man, it's just, you think of all these Bible characters, you can like smush them all together, and it's like, oh, you're missing how everything kind of unfolds. But I like this. This is great.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. That's our take.
Thanks for listening to Take Two. Find us wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube for those who want to watch our videocast.